Right, 17 February 2021, and I'm joined by Mr. Andrew Chaponda from the MDCT USA province. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well, Mr. Gambakwe. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much, and I'm very happy to see you and to speak to you for the first time. Can you briefly tell us about yourself? Who is Mr. Andrew Chaponda?
Oh yeah, Andrew Chaponda. I was born in Monzora actually, but I've been here in the US now for 20 years. I joined the MDC in 1999. Obviously, I did not take an active role in the party because I was my job then at BP and Shell, where I was the public relations manager there, didn't allow me to take an active role in politics. I did support the party, and we did support the party in a number of ways from BP and Shell. Then I moved to the US, and I became the Michigan chairman, 2006-7 thereabout, and then I became the MDC USA Information Publicity Secretary. Obviously, I was a PR manager, so I knew what I was talking about. And then in 2011, I was elected MDC USA Secretary at our provincial Congress in Cincinnati. And then again in 2014 at our Congress in Boston, I was re-elected MDC USA Secretary. That's why I am one of the delegates to the 2014 Congress. So that's a little bit of who I am in the MDC.
Okay, fantastic. And as I said in the beginning, my Wi-Fi is not working, so we have to do this very, very quickly. Our connection is not going to be strong now.
Yes.
Let us go straight into the discussion.
Yes.
Did you go to Zimbabwe for any of these congresses that happened, the extraordinary congress?
No, I did not. Although we as MDC USA at each and every Congress, after completing our elections, we came up with a slate of our own delegates. The same applied in 2011 when we had our Congress in Cincinnati. We also came up with a slate of our National Standing Committee members. The same in 2014, we also came up with a slate of our Standing Committee members. I was not there, but we did submit that through my office.
Okay, so in your view, the extraordinary Congress that we saw in December, was it in line with the MDCT constitution?
No, it was not, and it can never be. This is why, like my chairman, Mr. Denmo, said, that was a nullity and an illegality, and we are here to shed more light on why this should be set aside, because it failed to rise up to the standard that was desired of the Supreme Court judgment. The EOC of the 27th of December 2020 failed dismally to rise to that status. So we don't recognize it as legitimate, and the product thereof is also illegitimate.
Okay, so at present, who do you recognize as the president of the MDCT?
Given that the EOC that was conducted on December 27th did not meet those standards, we recognize that there is no leadership right now. There's no substantive president right now. So the only president that is there is the one who was elected vice president in 2014, who happens to be Dr. Khupe, by virtue of the constitution allowing her to assent to the position of acting president pending the conducting of a legitimate EOC that will choose the successor to Mugen Tsvangirai. So in a way, Dr. Khupe can be said to be the leader based on what I've explained.
Okay, so I understand today Dr. Khupe and Senator Monzora met. Did she communicate that position? Is that her position?
Yes, the National Standing Committee of the party met today. I am not yet briefed about the substance of that meeting. What I know is that Dr. Khupe is now fairly recuperated from the COVID that was the only product of that 27 December jamboree. So I have not been briefed yet about the substance of that meeting. However, I want to state that Dr. Khupe does not accept the dual vice presidency that was announced. Neither does she accept that she can be appointed to a position that she was elected to. So all those are things that Dr. Khupe is very clear that whatever appointments were made by Mr. Senator Douglas Monzora are illegitimate. So I want to submit that Dr. Khupe made it clear in that meeting that the legitimacy of the current leadership is in question, and that she is the legitimately elected vice president. And by so doing, if we need to start afresh, we have to go back to the status quo of December 26, 2020.
Okay, I think you are speaking very, very clearly. Everyone understands exactly what you're saying. However, there is a lack of clarity if that were to happen. What would happen? Would Senator Monzora have to step down? Would we have to go back to an extraordinary Congress? What would happen?
We are guided by our Constitution. The Constitution is the only document that can guide us as to what happens. If we are saying that there was the 27th December event was a nullity, then we go back to what the Constitution says. We want to talk about facts and facts only. Our Constitution says that in the event of the death of its leader, there shall be an extraordinary Congress. The facts also say that the vice president shall be the acting president of that party until the EOC has been conducted. So to avoid any doubt, what Senator Monzora is saying is not correct. Senator Monzora has been running around trying to have some rapprochement with people outside the party before he can resolve what are the problems inside his own party. We are saying that Senator Monzora should adhere to the constitution of the party. And the only way to resolve this is to go back to the status quo of December 26, where he was the SG of the party, and we give it to him. He was elected in 2014 with the MDC USA providing his first nomination in 2014. We want to put that on record, that MDC USA, after he had gotten 0 nominations out of 8 provinces in Zimbabwe, who were the first in USA to nominate Senator Monzora for the position of SG. So that shows our long-term relationship with Douglas Monzora. And it cannot be said that this is only now that we are saying he is acting outside the norms of our constitution. We have a long relationship with SG Monzora, and he knows that. So what I'm saying here is that talking about peace, talking about negotiations begins at home. We are not seeing similar efforts being extended in our own home, the MDCT. We are seeing people running around like headless chickens, inviting people from outside our party before we can resolve what is the problem in MDCT.
Okay, so what you are proposing is that Dr. Khupe becomes the acting president again. Senator Monzora steps down from his position and becomes the SG. And when would then the Congress be? When do you propose the General Congress to be?
I always want to be guided by our constitution. We are not proposing anything new here. We are simply saying the party recognizes that what happened on the 27th was an illegality. It was a shambolic EOC. It was an event that turned out to be nothing but a super spreader for COVID. That was the only product that we can see came out of that meeting, COVID-19. So we are saying that aside, let's go back to December 26, how the things were. We don't have to invent anything new. We just have to follow what Constitution says. I've heard some people saying we can have a co-presidency. I've scanned through our Constitution. There's nowhere in the MDCT Constitution where it says we can have a co-presidency, a senior and a junior, because that would tantamount to accepting that what came out of the 27th event was valid. It was not. It shall not be and it cannot be allowed to stand in the way it is. So yes, if we want to start afresh, if we want to go, we can always go back to the status quo as of the 26th and allow the process to work itself out. What do I mean here? We need to have a process that people can say is free, fair, and uncontestable. This is the problem that we have in Zimbabwe, Mr. Gambakwe. We have an MDC party here that is talking about bringing about Zimbabweans to talk about the future of our country. And yet we just witnessed a shambolic event where violence was the order of the day, where people were ferried from everywhere without being delegates, where actual delegates were not invited. This can also be an opportunity, Mr. Gambakwe, as you can say, to bring back the MDC party together. We have noticed that, after this event, they said they readmitted Organ Bebe into the party. Organ Bebe came out and said he never said that. Who do you believe here? Bebe or a witness who was not witness to the theft that happened before, but continues to run around and say things that are not true. So we want the party to come back to its former self, to put aside the I-titism that it's only I or nobody else. So what I'm proposing here is that we have an opportunity here. Monzora, Senator Monzora, and his team that surrounds him are not doing what is in the interest of the party, but are promoting an agenda that decimates who this social democratic movement stands for, decimates what this is a people's party. The people are saying what happened on the 27th is illegal, and we need a fresh start to put the party back on its rails. We have the rails, which is our constitution. That's why we have always been calling ourselves constitutionalists, because we want to go by what is in the constitution. A document so beautifully written that it takes a lot of effort to break it. And unfortunately, we have seen that there are willing people to break the constitution in the form of Senator Monzora and his company.
Okay. So Nelson Chamisa broke the constitution. Senator Monzora broke the constitution. Why are you willing to accept Senator Monzora, but not Chamisa?
This is exactly what I'm saying, that we have now a rare opportunity. Now that Monzora has shown us who he is, to go back and do what is right. Let me say this. After the death of our icon, Dr. Morgan Tsvangirai, may he rest in peace, we saw the usurpation of power by Nelson Chamisa. Nelson Chamisa, who was also illegally appointed by MT in 2016. My brother Nelson Chamisa would by all means could have won that EOC if he had accepted that we follow the constitution. The same way with Monzora, I want to be honest with you. He probably could have won this EOC had he also done the things in the right way. We are saying this because it's about the process. It's not about an individual. The problem that we see is we have leaders who do not want to follow their party constitution. What Chamisa did is exactly what Monzora did. They, instead of following the constitution, do the simple thing, they decided to do the illegal thing. So in my opinion, we did not accept Chamisa's ascendancy basically because it was a violation of the constitution. That's why we also will not accept what Monzora did, because it's also a violation of the constitution. I want to say one more thing. The fact that we, in our own MDC party, there are contested elections, this also is a reflection of what is happening at the national level. We cannot have shambolic elections and expect ZANU-PF to have clean elections. If ZANU-PF cheats, and after we have cheated, then we cannot say ZANU-PF is cheating. So we want an MDCT party that goes back to its original values, ethos as a social democratic party that abides by its rules. So both Chamisa and Monzora, violated the party constitution. We were expecting as MDC USA that after the March 2020 Supreme Court judgment was announced, everybody was supposed to come back to the party. Everybody to work towards the EOC and then come up with a unified leader. That is still possible if people can set aside their individual ambitions and work together as opposition party and work towards removing ZANU-PF from government after what they've done. We have seen a lot of social media warriors. They are ready to go. They are ready to do the right thing. But I think what is lacking here is leadership that does not think of themselves first, but think about the people. We have people who think about making money out of this misery of the Zimbabwean people. We want people, leaders who for a change, who think about what is good for the country. Like I said before, I would like to talk about the sanctions, but not now, and see how it is all tied together. That while people are suffering, some people are actually making a good living out of this situation. We don't want that. The people here in the US, for example, do not want anybody interfering in their own country. We want the same for Zimbabwe, that we want to do what is in Zimbabwe's interest. So yes, Chamisa and Monzora have another opportunity to come back. I know Madam Khupe is ready to work for the people of Zimbabwe. What she has done, people can have a problem with it. But always she tries to put the people first. And some of her decisions are only meant to alleviate the suffering of the people of Zimbabwe that she has seen for so long. So I want to believe as MDCT, we have another opportunity to come together as a party and prepare ourselves for elections in 2023.
Right. I think before I got the details of the meeting, I want to go back to this, the money, 6 million.
Yes. Yes.
You have not addressed this in all these discussions.
Yeah,
Was that money stolen?
Yes. Yes, Mr. Gambago. You know, we have seen the leaders that we are bubbling to the top. These are people who cannot be trusted with a simple party purse. On December 26, 2020, a report was filed by one Patson Murimoga alleging that Douglas Monzora and Mashakada and the finance guy, I can't remember his name, withdrew $6 million and used black market rates to fleece the company. That money was not returned to the party as per protocol. This is also one of the problems that I hear in the party. Monzora cannot be like a godfather who whatever he says goes. The party has rules. The 2014 Congress tried to streamline the powers of the Secretary General. Why? Because starting with Welshman Move, Tendai Bit, and Douglas Monzora, they were all seen to have this tendency to steal from the party. Tendai Bit, for example, stole, according to Monzora, during his campaign for this failed EOC, $23 million of party funds, its assets, and fleeced the party through some phony companies called that he set up. Why do I say this? Mr. Biti had his firm because he comes here to America, meets with left and right think tanks, gets some money against the party, against, you know, the Constitution of Zimbabwe does not allow for parties to be foreign funded. So what happens is, which allows these secretary generals to steal money, was BT would come here, get all the money that he gets, put him in his private account, and the money is gone. So right now there's a race among the MDCT secretary generals to see who can steal more than the other. So Douglas Monzora has just demonstrated that he stole the $300,000. I would address the 300,000, the 30,000 that he took, and Madam Khupe was able to absolve him, is a separate amount of money from the 6 million. So the $6 million, he and Mashakata, Dr. Mashakata, which is another thing, Mr. Gambako. Monzora claims that only 2 weeks ago, when he expelled me from the National Council meeting, that's where he was given the powers to appoint Mashakada. Mashakada was already stealing money prior to the 26th of December. So which means Mashakada was already part of the fleecing of the party. So he was only trying to sanitize the person who had already stolen $6 million. So he is a party that cannot be trusted with the party purse, trying to be the national government. Give me a break. These guys cannot be trusted with MDCT political finance funds. They will be a danger and a kleptocracy, if I may say, were they to be anywhere near the levers of power. So that's why we want, first of all, within the MDC party to have enough controls and measures. We have offered the MDCT party that we have a lot of our cadres all over the world who are working in finance, who can give us some control measures, policies and procedures of how to handle funds. We have not seen any likeness, anyone saying, okay, let's have those controls put in place. They want to maintain this loose, free for all. SG does what he wants. Just imagine if Monzora now becomes the president of the party when he was doing something as SG, we are all doomed. The party is in very bad hands right now, and we cannot allow that to happen. We want accountability. No one is above the law. And we also want the ZANU-PF government through the police to arrest Douglas Monzora and account for the funds that he has stolen. Without accountability, then the party cannot actually be there to offer an alternative government to Zimbabwe. So until the MDC party itself deals with the problems that are in-house, I don't see us going anywhere.
Right, Mr. Chaponda, what you are saying is very, very strong language. You are saying yes, Monzora must step down and he must be arrested.
Yes.
Did Dr. Khupe communicate this to Senator Monzora?
Mr. Gambakwe, MDCT is a party that belongs to its members. MDCT party is a people's party. Every member of the party has a right to demand that those who steal party funds should be arrested. I'm saying this here as a party member, that who steals party funds belong to Chikurubi, not in the Harvest House. We want to see there was a detailed report done by the police showing who took the money, who changed what, and that is sufficient evidence for the police to arrest this guy so that he can tell his side of the story. I want to tell you something. Within Monzora's clique, they are now approaching Murimoga, asking him to withdraw the case against Monzora and those who stole the money. Why are they putting more effort in asking Murimoga to withdraw the case instead of addressing what happened to the money? So hopefully Murimoga is a man of his own standing. I don't think he will allow this. The fact that he took the case to the police in the first place will see him through, that these guys will have a chance to go to court and clean themselves. Right now, they stand accused of stealing the party funds.
Okay, very, very clear. And as I said, my network is not stable. I'm using a SIM card that I don't even know, and I'm waiting for my Wi-Fi to be fixed tomorrow.
Yes.
I want us to wrap up. We've got a guest in the lobby. He wants to ask you a question or two. Is it okay for me to put him through?
Oh, sure. Let him come on.
Right. So Charles is a regular, so we're going to put him here. He's going to ask you a question. Charles, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Fantastic, man. Thank you, Charles. I think let's move on. Yes.
Okay. I want to understand, because now I heard you say Mr. Chirichoga or something like that. Okay, your guest, I heard Mr. Chaponda. Okay, I'm sorry. Mr. Chaponda, you say Monzora has broken the constitution. So I don't know. There's two things that I don't understand actually, because if you look, Mr. Danmoyo was here. He was pinpointing issues like Monzora is appointing peoples unconstitutionally. But if you go back, you can understand that appointing somebody illegally does not mean you yourself you are illegal. You can be voted illegally and appoint somebody illegally.
Yes.
So to put those things, to say Monzora have appointed somebody who should have been a position that should have been filled via Congress processes, does not mean that he himself was not elected legitimately. Okay, 1. 2, there's a talk about EOC irregularities that you as you say now, is you say it's null and void. 1, if you say it's null and void, now it's in the hands of the court. You have to go to the court and prove that your case. If you prove the case, that the court has the power to put it aside, not any other, because if you now, I think Mr. Danmoy was also asking, who is the president now? And you yourself, you was also asking the very same question. You didn't answer, like you answer, but the way you answer, it's you are meandering around. You can't say Douglas Monzora is your president, but illegally, as we talk right now, this is the same issue you see we had with Chamisa and Mnangagwa. That said, no, he is illegitimate. But the case is, he is the president of MDCT. You might query about the processes, then you know how to go about the processes to denullify or to make sure that you can nullify everything. But as we stand right now, I think politically, you should have accepted that as we stand now, he is the president. Then you say, but we have queries according to the way he was appointed, or in accordance with the processes that ended up resulting in him being the president. So we are going to take steps so that if, according to our view, the outcome of the court will be, he will be nullified. But as it stands now, he is the president. 1, 2.
Okay. All right. Charles, I want to stop you. I want to stop you, Charles, because as I said, my network today is not working. My fiber is down. So let me ask you to leave the studio because we need to wrap up. My network is not stable.
I had only one connection. I had only last statement, then I can.
Okay, proceed, please.
Okay, right. I think I also listened to Mr. Pugen. He was emphasizing when we talk about the EOC, he was emphasizing so strongly about the slapping of Madam Khupe. I think we condone the violence against women as always. But the fact, if you look, Madam Khupe, if you look at the videos, you can see that even Madam Khupe was trying to approach the ballot box. And no one is even talking about that because it was now illegal for her to do that. But we are focusing on the one person who slapped her. So my fear is that even if these people goes to court, they will lose. And after that, are they prepared to say that after we lose in court, we are going to accept that Douglas Monzora is our president because the court is just, or they will come back and say, no, the ZANU-PF is also in the courts now because they lose. But all along, MDCT was winning in the courts. And they were saying the judiciary is perfect. So now we will be looking. If the judgment is against you, you have to accept and say, okay, then we have to go on. If you do not accept, then we know that you only need the justice system when it is in your favor. That's, I think, irregularities that people are talking about. I'm not sure we are going to prove, because that independent electoral, now people might be talking, but they have not even proven, put the proof, the evidence. Even there was a talk about the register, ballot register, whatever, but the proof is not there. It's all about talk. Go do your stuff, then we can end up seeing that this is it. But I am afraid that Douglas Monzora is a well-calculated politician, well-calculated politician. Madam Khupe might be very, very committing a political suicide by taking this step. I think that's all. Thank you, Gambakwe.
Charles, I thank you very much. Tomorrow we're going to continue this conversation, and I'm sorry about my network. So please leave the studio. We'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Okay, good night.
Sure, good night.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you.
Chaponda,
yeah,
there are three questions for you.
Charles is a very committed guy to his cause. Unfortunately, his commitment is in the wrong place. He talked about being legitimate and then doing an illegitimate thing. That's what Morgan Tsvangirai did. It's a fact. Morgan Tsvangirai was elected, but then it's also a fact he went on to do illegitimate things by appointing Mudzuri and Chamisa, which the Supreme Court already nullified. That's a fact. He also went on. I want to talk about the slapping part. Right now, the Monzora team is actually in overdrive trying to rewrite history and saying Khupe was not slapped, she slapped herself. You see, we had Monzora come out, I think it was on your show, Mr. Gambakwe, and say they've identified the person who slapped Dr. Khupe. Even up to now, as we talk, there's not been any party move to discipline or expel that person. And yet Monzora actually is on record as saying the person has been identified. That's number two. So yes, violence was part of what happened. I don't want to talk about independent electoral body. It has not even issued a report. That body was so compromised and so subjective in the way it did its own things. It's not even worth the paper that they are written on. So the independent electoral body was neither independent nor subjective nor objective. So it doesn't work like that. Accepting Monzora as president right now is a non-starter. Monzora was not elected above board. That was the reason why the Supreme Court said, go back and elect a substantive president for your party. So what happened on the 27th is a nullity, and therefore his position is also now. So he cannot now turn around and start appointing people when he himself is a product of an illegal process. So an illegal outcome cannot have his tentacles creating legal issues. So it's a whole mishmash here of illegality. And these guys, as I said before, they are proving to be a danger to the party democracy, and the people of MDCT will not stand for this. The people of MDCT, I think it's time that
the important question, you haven't answered the important question. Why don't you go to court on the two issues?
Yes.
The money, the 6 million and the Congress.
The 6 million is already in the court. The Zimbabwe government judiciary said they suspended all court new cases from being heard. I can confirm on this forum that we have identified a lawyer that is going to take our case to court. We have already agreed on more or less like the legal fees that are needed, and we are expecting a court case to be filed to challenge Douglas Monzora's self-proclaimed legitimacy, which we are all saying is legitimate. So yes, the court case will be filed to challenge Douglas Monzora's claim to party leadership.
But Dr. Khupe wrote a letter saying that money was not stolen. How do you reconcile these two?
Yes, there are two funds here we're talking about. There was a 300,000 bonds, or so to speak. That is the one Dr. Khupe said she eventually condoned that payment because it was seen to have been given to one of the lawyers that we owed money. That was the condonation that Dr. Khupe gave. The $6 million was supposed to fund the EOC itself. That is the money that Dr. S.G. Monzora and Dr. Mashakada withdrew without following proper procedures of the party. So even up to now, we have not seen the reconciliation of the receipts and the invoices as to how the money was spent. I also want to tell you, there was a deliberate way a month before the failed EOC. Thugs were already staying at Harvest House. Some of the leaders were already staying at the Miku's Hotel, including Monzora himself. He abandoned his matrimonial home and came and stayed in the Sheraton in the Miku's Hotel prior to the EOC. So we know where the money went. We just want to see who authorized those payments. Why was the money withdrawn in the way it was done? Chief in Love was or is, according to us, the person who is the treasurer. The treasurer cannot be told what happened to the money without their involvement. So here we have Monzora is tentacles in each and every part of the party. So that is why we want him to be arrested. We want him to go and clean himself before the courts as to what happened with the party funds. For now, yes, There are two streams of court cases being pursued, one against the funds and one for his claim to legitimacy when he's not, because of the shambolic nature of the EOC.
Okay. I think we've done justice to this topic.
Yes.
Let's go to the meeting. Take
Yes.
us through the meeting that happened today and what are the next steps.
Like I said, I haven't had all the details, but my brother witness, a witness who was no witness to the theft of the money, issued another press conference. I picked up some few things from there that they are talking about Pollard. Pollard was created following the end of the Constitutional Court case that was brought by Alliance people challenging ED's ascendancy, ED's victory. So once that case was resolved, Dr. Khupe and other leaders who participated in the 2018 elections said, we agree with the judgment. We have no basis to challenge this judgment. So they now agreed to be part of the political actors forum that was set aside at that time. I hear the meeting was looking into that. We don't know whether Monzora now is claiming to have been there in 2018 in spirit or something, that they now want to revisit visit Pollard. That was how Pollard was formed. I also hear that there was a talk about a national talks, a national agreement. I addressed this issue before the MDCT resolves the problems in its own party. I don't see anyone outside there taking it seriously. I have a problem here because there is something going on between ZANU-PF and Douglas Monzora. ZANU-PF are quick to congratulate this guy. ZANU-PF are quick to give this guy a sort of like a pass to say, yes, you can organize these things. We don't want that thing to happen. Monzora cannot sell the MDCT to ZANU-PF the way he's trying to do. We as a party have, although we have a platform that says we must negotiate for the betterment of the Zimbabwean people, we don't want to be done in a way that makes MDCT an appendage of ZANU-PF. That is not a good thing to do, and Monzora should be stopped from doing it. So yes, the meeting that they had today for the National Standing Committee, as usual, failed to address the real issues in the MDCT party. That is the legitimacy of the EOC and also bringing together all the other members of MDCT who are not there, and also addressing why the MDCT party would go around claiming that people are coming back to the fold. For example, our good organizing secretary, Bebe. So yes, that meeting again is just another meeting which has failed to address the core problems we have in the MDCT party. These are the facts.
Right, Mr. Andrew Chaponda, very, very clear. And I'm grateful that the way you describe this, it shows that you're taking action.
Yes.
I like what you're doing because you are not just talking about it.
No.
And I hope that we'll be seeing action. I normally have my brother Kalipani Puken here on Saturdays.
Yes.
So yes. I hope this weekend you'll be able to come here and give us an update. Yes. Witness Dube has told me that he's not going to talk to you guys because you are into factional politics. So that's what he said.
Witness, let me say this about Witness, my brother. Witness is a victim of some issues there. After they kicked me out of the National Council meeting 2 weeks ago, Witness compiles his press statement and sends it to my inbox. I replied to Witness, engage him on some other party issues, and he blocks me. I don't know how you expect to come to my inbox and then block me because I've answered you back. So he is free to come. He knows where he can meet me, and he knows my email. He knows everything. So it's just unfortunate that the brother is now being used to promote some agenda. Witness, I will talk to him separately. I think he's being like used as a cat paw to cause some few more problems. But I'm sorry for him. He's singing for his supper, and eventually you realize that he is doing the wrong thing, and you advise his handlers accordingly.
Okay, Mr. Andrew Chaponda, I apologize. I would have wanted us to talk for longer.
Yes.
But that said, I have got poor network today, and I hope that by tomorrow everything will be sorted. Is there anything else you want to say before we close?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get my vaccine today. Thank God, in the next 30 minutes I'll get my first shot. I have always seen my Zimbabwean people. I don't know whether I should demonstrate to you how to wear a mask. It's always a shock anytime I see my Zimbabwean people that we here talk with our masks on like that. The mask should not stay here. The mask belongs to here. We can still have our conversation here, Mr. Gambakwe. I can still talk like this. I saw my chairman almost frothing, spreading COVID. Zimbabwe, the mask belongs there. Can you hear me? You can still make your point with your mask on. Do not remove this thing. You can still be heard with your mask on. It's a good thing, and I'm about to get my shot. Thank God. And you guys, when it comes there, I don't know, but I'm gonna go my shot today, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm going to be getting my shot also. I get a flu shot every year.
Yes, it's very important to do that. It's very important to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. In the past 5 years, I've not had a flu.
Yeah.
Very strange. Ever since I started taking the flu shot,
the variance of this thing, you need a flu shot, to boost up your, it's never 100%, but at least you are protected. And there was a funeral this morning, a family funeral. People have their masks in their necks. I just bleed and say, come on, that's not how to do it. And even the leaders, our leaders, look at Monzora's video from 2 days ago. Look at Komich's video 2 days ago. These are leaders who are poor examples of how to do things. So that was my last word, Gambakwe. I want you Zimbabweans, I want you to live and we'll get over this together, as long as we wear our masks correctly. Thank you so much.
Okay, Mr. Andrew Chaponda, I hope that next week we can have a conversation on the same day, like today.
Yeah.
I would like to
thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Wednesday, tomorrow, next week, you can come. We continue this conversation. And obviously, I want the MDCT to do well.
Yes.
We love all of you guys, but obviously these issues that you are discussing, very, very important. And
it's the People's Party. It's the People's Party. The people formed that party, and we want it to succeed. The people want that party to succeed. Yes.
Thank you very much, sir. And good night, everyone at home.
Thank you. Let's wear our mask properly. Wear the mask the way it's supposed to be.